Hey guys, today we have Neha and she is having total 4 years of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices. And guys, those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Neha, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm also good. So Neha, can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
Yes, sure. So, myself Neha Sagar, and I have total 4 years of experience working on Java, Spring Boot, and microservices. So, I have majorly worked in payments domain on multiple projects. So, there was a uh, Swift gateway which I worked
Mhm.
on. So all the payments are gone through our application to the Swift. One of the project was that, and in a recent project, I have worked on REST APIs to develop REST APIs for one of the payments gateway only. So
Okay.
this is about me. Yeah.
Okay, let's say you have written a new order service, added it
Mhm.
into your controller file. Okay, and on startup, the application is failing with no qualifying bean of type order service. What are all the things you would go and check here?
No qualified bean. Okay. So on startup, it is not getting the respective bean basically because that maybe it is primary, like what all types of bean we are using. So for uh, one interface, we have multiple implementations, and we don't
Hmm.
know. We are not including that particular bean as primary.
Okay, so
So that's why
primary
it is
bean
getting confused.
annotation, primary annotation we generally use for when there are two or more beans are qualified, right? But here in
Mhm.
this case, you have added one new order service in your service file, and then you are just utilizing this order service in your controller. Okay, the application is failing. Just think about it. What you do when you add a new service files, order service or anything. What annotations do you add and what we need to check?
Okay, so we need to add that annotation like this is a service. So
Hmm.
if we indicate
Like
it as a
component or
service,
service
Spring Boot,
annotation,
yeah,
right?
component
Hmm.
or service,
Correct,
it
correct.
Spring Boot will create its bean.
Hmm.
Otherwise, so like it will not
If
able
that
to
is
find it.
missing, so we will see no qualifying bean of the type order service. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one more thing we could check, uh, and that is no component scan filter exclude our service file. That generally doesn't happen. That's a rare case. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you tell me the concept of scanning of components and all how these things work internally?
Yes, so Spring Boot has this like while starting the application it will scan the components. So
Mm-hmm.
basically it will check all the annotation and create required bins inside the IOC, and also like we have configuration files in which we have initialized beans, multiple beans. So
Mm-hmm.
that beans also will be initialized during the startup. So based
Okay.
upon the package we have scanning.
Correct, correct. Okay, let's say you are starting a new project today. So which one would you use, constructor injection or field injection in your project? And also why?
Constructor in Yeah, constructor injection is more preferable um, because it will give all the dependencies at the time of initialization only.
Yep, that is correct. One of these allows you to write a unit test without starting Spring at all. Which one and why is that useful?
So like field injection will allow you
Okay,
to write the test cases basically without like
no, no,
initialization.
no. Okay, so think about it this way. Just think which one is better for a unit test cases, constructor injection or a field injection?
Constructor injection only.
Constructor injection. Why it is
Hmm.
better? Because it allows us to write a unit test without starting Spring at all.
Hmm.
Okay, we
Okay.
can call new order service and we can pass mock rep or mock client. Okay,
Hmm. Right.
okay. Uh, Moving ahead, suppose you have one interface notification service with the two implementation. One is for SMS and one is for email. Okay. Now you
Mhm.
inject the interface into a service and the application
Mm.
does not start. Okay. And
Mhm.
the error we are receiving is no unique bean definition exception. Okay. Tell me
Mhm.
why is this issue coming? And second things, tell me what are the ways to solve it.
Yes, so like Spring Boot is not able to understand which bean he has to inject
Mm-hmm.
because it has multiple implementations. So using the primary annotation, we can do it. There are other ways also.
Correct, correct. Primary and qualifier annotation as well.
Hmm.
Okay. Hey guys, I want to share something important with you. Actually, Neha prepared from our interview preparation kit and cracked multiple interviews, and we have also referred her to the multiple companies. So, guys, let me tell you, this interview preparation kit has four main parts. First is complete interview preparation material. It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviewers. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it. Second is two real enterprise client projects. Code and video recorded sessions are there, and you can add this in your resume. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime, any day. Fourth is referral support. Here we help you to get referred to the top MNCs. Okay. So basically the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data, JPA, microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. You can buy just the complete interview preparation material or the full interview preparation kit with project supports and referrals. I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview. And guys, before moving to our interview, since Neha is here, so we can ask for feedback. Neha, can you please go ahead?
Yes, yes. So the interview preparation kit has really helped me because it has the core questions which are mostly asked in interviews, and it is also segregated based upon experience. So it is
Mhm.
that is also helpful.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, so Neha, can you please tell me what is the default scope of a Spring Bean?
Uh, Default scope is a package base inside the
No,
package.
no. Scope means we have different type of scopes like prototype, singleton, right?
Sorry, singleton.
Yeah, yeah, that is correct. Singleton meaning one shared instance per application context, and singleton is basically default scope of our Spring Bean.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so if a bean is singleton, does that mean it is thread safe?
Singleton. So it is not always thread safe in Java.
Hmm.
Like we can make it thread safe using synchronized.
Okay. Okay, so there are two different concepts: singleton design pattern in Java and singleton scope in Spring Boot. Okay, and since we are discussing about the Spring Boot scope, that is singleton, so yes, your answer is correct. We cannot assume that if it is a singleton scope, it means it is a thread safe. But yes, this is a concept of Spring Boot. Okay,
Mhm.
same way can be, same way happens in Java as well. In singleton design pattern, we can implement a thread safe. There's a separate way, different way. Okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay. So, can you tell me the purpose of Spring Boot Starter, JPA, or any other starter in our Spring Boot project?
Yes, so GPA helps us in writing the queries easily.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have to write database queries. So not always we have to write the query, but GPA simplifies the process of connecting with database and executing the queries.
Okay, okay. So, let's say. Uh, your junior is asking a few questions about Spring Boot starters. It may be JPA, it may be other, right? So
Mhm.
how would you explain your junior about Spring Boot starters?
Okay. So Spring Boot starters are like during previous Spring and Java, we had to do a lot of configurations. So Spring Boot starters help us based upon the configuration file, it help us to get like the connection. So suppose in case of database we want to connect with database, then only just maintaining some configurations in the config file, we will be able to connect with the database instead of creating multiple configurations. So
Okay.
these kind of starter uh,
Yeah,
dependencies
they
will help.
basically avoid boilerplate code and boilerplate configurations. We now don't need to do a lot of configurations since we have starters. We can use the properties of starters, right? And the
Yes.
packages, dependencies, and everything. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's say a method A in your service is calling method B in the same class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And B has transactional annotation on it.
Mm-hmm.
When A runs, will there be a transaction around B?
A has transaction annotation or not?
Yes, yes. Method A in your service is calling method B in the same class, and B has transactional annotation on it, but A doesn't have. So when A runs, will there be a transaction around B?
No, no. Because like Spring Boot uses the proxy uh,
Hmm.
like thing, right? So whenever we are going from one bean to another, then only it comes into picture and the transaction and annotation will work in that case only.
Okay, yes, that is correct. No transaction is created in this case. Spring wraps the bean in a proxy, and the transaction interceptor only runs when a when a call passes through that proxy. A calling B is an internal. This dot B calls on the target object, so it bypasses the proxy completely, and the annotation is never seen at runtime. Okay, so how would you fix this one?
Uh, so so if we want to run method B inside a new
Hmm.
transaction, we will write that method into another bean and call that class and the method from method A.
Yes, yes, and also we can move method B into the separate bean and inject it, so the call goes through the proxy again. Or we can put the transaction on the public entry point A, right?
Hmm. Yes, if we put transactional on A, it will also create a new transaction.
Hmm, that is correct. Okay, so moving ahead, uh, let's say a junior developer in your team has put
Mhm.
transactional annotation on private method, right? And everything is fine from his perspective, like JUnit test cases and everything is working fine. Now he asks you to review his PR or MR. So what would you suggest? Would you accept the PR or would you tell him to do something?
Yes, so the test cases are passing because it is using the like we are mocking the things. That's why
Hmm.
it will not it will the proxy does not come into picture while running the test
Why?
cases. So because we will mock that call, right, while writing the call
Okay.
test
So tell
cases.
me, is it a good idea to put transactional annotation on private method?
No, no. So we will, that will be the review comment that do not use the private
It won't
methods for
work.
transaction, because the calling bean will not be able to access that method in a real scenario. In test cases, we are mocking the call. That's why it is
Hmm.
getting passed.
Correct, correct. Okay, so let's say the same junior has written controller annotation where REST controller was needed. What will happen when a client calls that endpoint?
So for a normal Um, so when we write REST controller, it will return the response in the form of JSON or XML. But in other case, it will find a view like it will look for a JSP file maybe for that
Mm.
uh, return. So the response will not be formatted maybe in the correct format.
Client will get 404 or a template resolution error. Your answer is correct. It won't work. Yeah, but the correct error would be 404. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Suppose your team lead asks you to design three endpoints. One is
Mm-hmm.
get a user by ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second is search users with some optional filters, right? Third is create a new user, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me the URLs, I mean, among these three URLs, where you would use path variable, request parameter, and request body annotation.
Okay. Request. So, first one get, and second one, sorry, can you please repeat?
Okay, first one is get a user by ID. Second one is search users with some optional filters. And third one is a create new user. So where you would use path variable and where request param and where request body.
Okay, so for creating request body is needed
Mm.
for all the data of the user. For getting the user by ID, we will need that ID passed in the URL. So uh, and
Okay,
for the
search one.
se- search with optional, yeah. So there will be path parameters used.
Okay. Um, how? Why? Okay, let's discuss one by one. First one is get a user by ID. So what you said,
Mhm.
what should we use here?
So slash like path parameters. So what
Path parameter.
after slash whatever
Path
will be there
variable.
at the path
The API
variable.
would be like slash user slash ID and we will use path variable. That is fine. And for
Mm-hmm.
the create user, you said we would use request body. That is fine. And for the search, what would you use?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the exact name, but there is question mark after our
We
path.
can use request param here or not.
Yes, yes, request parent can
Because
be
we
used.
can search like users question mark status is active and city is Delhi, something like that. So
Mhm.
can we use request param?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we can use the request param in this case. Okay, moving ahead. Okay, so let's say your orders endpoint is returning 50 orders, and in the
Mhm.
SQL logs you can see 51 queries. Okay, so what is happening here and how would you fix it?
Okay. It is returning 50 records, but
Mm.
there are 51 records in the database, you mean?
Yeah, there are 50 records in database, but 51 queries ran to fetch those 50 orders.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
let's assume 50n. Did you get
Mhm.
something?
Yes, yes, I got it.
For
Like it
n
is
orders,
related
you
to
are having n
n
plus 1 queries.
n+1. That like that is one of the problem we
Mm-hmm.
uh face during the using GPA. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, n+1. So first one n is for, so there are two tables dependent on each other. That's
Mm-hmm.
why, so for on the first n records, Spring Boot is running one query, and
Mm-hmm.
another is for the plus one. So n+1 problem is there in this case.
Yes, yes. And how would you fix it?
Uh, so there are multiple annotations which we can use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like currently I actually don't remember those, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we can use join fetch, right? Or we can use entity graphs. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yes,
mean they are one of the solutions. Okay. Do you know about lazy initialization exception error in production? Have you seen this?
lazy. Not.
No, okay, it is fine. Okay, so when the entity was loaded, then the persistent context in the session closed, and then later code touch an initialized proxy with no connection left to overlay. So we could see this lazy initialization exception. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving ahead. Suppose you need to insert 10,000 records, and a junior
Mm-hmm.
developer writes a simple for loop calling save every time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so is there any issue here? And if yes, so how would you improve it?
Yes, so like calling save method again and again is not a good practice. So for
Mm-hmm.
every user we are uh, inserting it, that's why it is increasing the time. So we can
Mm.
use save all users instead of saving each at a time. It will optimize it.
Save all. That is correct.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say your API has to return 404 when the record is not found.
Mm-hmm.
400, 400 for bad input, and 500 for everything else. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so how would you do this without writing try catch in every controller method?
Okay. Um, Using that exception handling.
Okay, how? Did you
Uh,
use a controller advice, REST controller advice annotation anywhere?
yes, yes. So controller advice will be called like whenever we are having exceptions, that will be called, and
Mm,
inside that we will handle all these kind of exceptions. So if the user like it not found, then we will send that 404, and similarly for all the other errors we will send
mm.
500.
Correct, correct. We could use here a REST controller advice annotation class holding exception handler methods. We can map resource not found exception to 404, method argument not valid exception, and consent violation exception to 40, and so on, so that we can return these three errors every time
Mm-hmm.
out of these three. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Explain how valid annotation works on a request body.
Request body. So valid annotation will check based upon that mm, so whatever if we are adding the not null constraint,
Mm,
whatever constraints we are adding, those constraints will be checked before passing that request to the controller. And if that like request body, like if any of the constraint is violated
mm.
during the request body passing, it will directly throw the error instead of passing request to
And
the
what would be the
controller.
error? Do you know the error code?
Yes, bad request it will be
Bad request. 400 every time.
400 bad request.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Moving ahead. Suppose server.port is set in application properties also as an environment variable and also passed as a command line argument. Okay. Which one will be taken and why is there such a order? I just want to know the order.
Okay. So the one passed during command line arguments will be
Mm-hmm.
the for most preference. So like if we are adding the parameter
Mm-hmm.
in the application dot properties, that will be
Mm-hmm.
overridden with the environment variable, and that will be overridden by the CLI command line arguments. So the most preference will be command line arguments.
Got it. That is correct. When do you use value annotation and at what point in a project would you switch to configuration properties annotation?
Mhm. So value annotation is used to take any value from the configuration file, like that is
Mm-hmm.
application dot YAML file. If we want to fetch any value, we will use that
Mm-hmm.
add rate value annotation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
And
configuration properties, uh, I'm not aware of it actually.
okay. When we switch to configuration property, basically for safe type, safe binding, relaxed naming, validation, and when we just want to um, map whole object instead of strings, right? We could use the configuration properties. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, suppose you have application.yaml and application.properties and both are setting server.port. Now you run the application with the dev profile active. Which value will be used and what about the properties that are only there in the base file?
Only there in base file meaning.
Okay, so just forget about the second question. Just tell me which value will be used if both, if the same value is there in YAML as well as in dev-dev YAML.
Okay. Uh, so based upon the profile which we are setting.
Okay. Did you get the question or should I repeat?
So like, so you are saying we have application.yaml and application.properties, two
No,
files with
no,
same name.
1 second. Let me correct it if I just told you
Mm-hmm.
something wrong. The correct question is you have two files application.yaml and second is application-dev.yaml,
Mm-hmm.
right? And both are setting server.port.
Mm-hmm.
Now you run the application with the dev profile active. Which
Mm-hmm.
value will be used?
So dev profile active, then it will use application dev dot YAML
Yeah,
properties.
correct. Dev
Uh,
file wins for server.port. You are correct.
Yes.
May
And
I
like
know the
if we are
reason?
not, because we are setting the profile as dev, that time
Mhm.
Spring Boot will take application hyphen dev dot YAML as the preference.
Mhm. Got it. Okay. Let's say you got a new requirement, new feature in your project, and that is after sign up, a welcome email should be sent, but the sign up API response should not wait for the mail server. So, how would you do that?
So after sign up, we have to send email, but
Email
user should not wait for that email to complete its
server.
sign up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So in this case, we can use asynchronous communication. Basically, one of the way is we send that event to Kafka, and
Mm-hmm.
then Kafka will manage it. Like the consumer of that Kafka will send the email notification.
Correct, correct. Okay. Tell me the difference between three things: REST template, web client, and REST client.
Okay. REST template is used during REST API calls,
Mm-hmm.
and web client. And a third one, what did you say? REST
A REST client.
client. Okay.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe you have, partially or not, but yeah, let me correct you. REST client is the modern synchronous client with a fluent API built on the same infrastructure as a web client. And REST template
Mm-hmm.
is now in maintenance mode. Okay, web
Mm-hmm.
client makes sense if the project is already reactive or genuinely needs a non-blocking calls. But for plain blocking calls, we use REST client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
web client and REST client we majorly use in the microservice architecture. Okay,
Okay.
REST template is very common in monolithic application or normal application, normal REST APIs, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What is the difference between Spring Boot test annotation and data JPA test annotation?
Data GPA artist.
Okay, so just tell me what Spring Boot test annotation does.
Uh, So like it helps in like testing our application basically.
Hmm. And what Spring Boot application annotation does?
So it will do the all actual process of initializing a Spring Boot application. Basically, that enable auto configuration and component scan, all those things.
Okay. Are you guys using any AI tool or AI editor or any AI agent?
Yes, we are using Copilot
GitHub
for
Copilot?
day to day. Yes, GitHub Copilot
Okay.
for day to day.
So in your day to day. Okay. So what's your most utilization way with your AI Copilot? Like what do you ask most?
Yes, firstly, we ask multiple design related
Mm-hmm.
questions, whatever queries we have for our
Okay.
application design.
Mm-hmm.
And other is coding. Also, we get help from Copilot for coding and unit test cases writing.
Okay. Do you ask Copilot to write your complete coding or you just manually do the coding part still?
No, no. So, like, we take help from Copilot because it is like it saves our time. So
Mm.
based upon feature also it happens. So if the feature is complex, we will
Mm.
manually do it like
Do you
and
review the code
take
after
some help.
writing by AI?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay.
Like
Do you
because like we
find
cannot trust on it.
something
Huh?
that's been done a wrong way by AI? Do you find in your day-to-day
So
task?
like yes, it happens based upon our prompt. So if something is um not correctly written in our
Mm-hmm.
prompt or something is missing, that time
Okay.
AI like confuses us like
Okay. Do you
if
think by using AI, our developers are going good? I mean, or they are just lacking a lot of things in future. They may lag because they are just dependent on AI. What do you think?
yes, because like sometimes we are generating the code from AI, and it is also important that we are understanding that code. If we are not able to understand that code completely,
Hmm.
then it's an issue. Otherwise, if we are taking help for improving ourselves, then it is a good
Okay,
option
so
and it
don't you
saves time.
think before this AI era, we used to get issues, we used to debug ourselves, we used to learn a lot of things while debugging, right,
Mm.
while analyzing, but now AI is taking care of. So don't you think we will be losing this aptitude and reasoning skills in the development area in future?
Right, yeah, absolutely. We will be losing those skills,
So
but
what would
like,
be your what's the best solution we can I mean utilize according to you? What would be the best strategy and best idea?
okay. So like we will have that core concept, like core logic, what is to be done inside this feature. Core logic we should build in ourselves and then take help from AI for writing it. Like we
Got it.
should firstly try to decode the
Okay,
core logic ourselves.
got it. Okay, Neha, it's done from my end, and I think meeting is going to end. It was a very nice interview. You have answered around 80% question.